Hey everyone! When choosing to buy games, there's one thing that usually always used to come up on my mind back in the day, and that is how the box art looks. Because back then, choosing a game, you only had the box art to go off. So you wouldn't know whether the game was good or bad, unless the game, literally on the box, looked good or bad. Box art, one of gaming's most overlooked features. With so many titles these days being available digitally, and with companies pushing more incentive to go digital, the way of the box art as an art form is dying, which is a real shame. As a kid, if you knew nothing about a game and you wanted to purchase one at the store, the only thing you had to go off was the box art. A good box art should summarise what the product is all about. This goes for movies, shows, books, as well as games, which is what we'll be talking about today. It should clearly set the tone and atmosphere for the next 40 hours of your life that you'll be spending in the game. One of my favourite box arts for a game fits this description perfectly, that being the original Doom. Many box arts carry the flair and reflect the personality of the game, while others try to invoke emotion from the players and show key elements and locales. Just know that when I say that I really like a game's box art, I'm only talking about the game's art on the cover. I'm not talking about the game itself. For example, No Man's Sky, at least to me, has a really good cover art. It's so atmospheric, you get to see a few items from the game and the world, the scope, but the game itself, yeah, that's arse. I think a great example of this is New Super Mario Bros. Wii. It is colourful, it is cheery, and it features all of the playable characters on the front, as well as some of the new gimmicks found in the game, such as the return of Yoshi, and some of the power-ups. Anyone looking at this can clearly tell you what this game is all about. However, sometimes box arts just miss the mark so hard. A prime example of how not to sell your games is to make your covers look hideous. Sega, what were you thinking with the Master System? Who was it when designing this went, "Graph paper, that'll work"? But then one day, everyone lost their creativity when they wanted their games to sell on the Xbox 360 and asked, how can we make our box art so bland and tasteless? And thus, the guy with the gun template began. They typically feature a guy looking away from the viewer or just slightly across from the viewer, mainly holding a gun. It can be another weapon like a sword or an axe, but it's usually a gun. And they usually feature very lifeless backgrounds. I'm talking maybe a bit of smog or just a bland sky or just nothing really. I mean, there's no passion, no energy, no love for the art form put into this box art. It's just, this'll sell our game I guess, maybe.
Hold on. You said earlier Doom had a good box art, but it's just a guy with a gun. Why is Doom exempt of your criticism?
Well,
is it one of your favorite games and you won't say anything bad about it?
No.
Is it because you thought I wouldn't notice?
No!
Is it because you are stupid?
No, let me speak! On the original Doom's box, sure, it does feature a guy with a gun, but there's so much more going on here. You can see another character in trouble in the background, and all the enemies are clearly drawn with detail and personality, and the logo fits the background perfectly. Aesthetically, let's compare this to the 2016 version. Surely 2 decades later they can come up with, oh, looks like someone caught a case of the guy with a gun template. But even then, there is still one box art I hate even more than the likes of Clu Clu Land and Bust a Move 2, and that is The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Oh my god, I hate this one so much! Look, what is this supposed to tell you about the game? It literally tells you nothing other than, oh, he's got a sword and a shield, ooh. Look, the back of I'm rambling at this point, but I mean seriously, look at the background. That golden brown colour, that does not match with the N64 logos on the side. The red, it just completely contrasts and it's horrible, it's awful. Man. And how did this game sell? Surely this game with a box art like this only appeals to people's grandpas. Jeez. Okay, I think this game only made money through people's word of mouth and reputation of the Zelda series. And I mean, the other games at the time didn't look much better. I mean, the original ones on the NES, at least they had the excuse that, oh, they're NES games. What about the Game Boy ones? What about the Super Nintendo one? Why do they all look so horrible up to Majora's Mask? Well, at least the sequel did get a quite nice looking box art, but why did it take them this long to decide to not make them look awful? And then they went back to the same thing with Wind Waker. Just adding a little tiny graphic at the bottom? Oh my... I'm sorry for that, guys. I just had to get that out of my system. Bottom line, Zelda box art before Majora's Mask is awful. Luckily we have box art like the Minish Cap and Breath of the Wild, which I actually really enjoy. They look so cool. But you might be asking, what is my favourite cover art of all time in any game? Doesn't matter if it is any of the criteria I just said, it's something that I just personally really enjoy the most. And that is the Super Smash Bros. Brawl cover art. That is my favourite. And you guys can tell me your favourites down in the comments and why you like them. I like this one just because it's so cool. Alright?